All right, let's get right into it. We're looking at a story that's got a little bit of everything. A complete company makeover, some huge names from the crypto world, and a stock price that just went absolutely ballistic. Today we're going to unpack the wild story of Cypherpunk and its massive pivot.
So it all kicks off with this one question that just seemed to come out of nowhere. How on earth does a small biotech firm called Leap Therapeutics suddenly ditch its old self to become Cypherpunk, a company whose main gig is now holding cryptocurrency? Talk about a hard left turn, right? You've got to ask, what is going on here?
And this is why everyone is paying attention. A nearly 40% jump in its stock price in a single day. Now, that's not just a little bump. That's a kind of market explosion that makes everyone stop and say, whoa, what did I miss? So let's figure out what's really fueling this fire.
To really get a handle on that surge, we have to look at the bull case. Basically, all the positive news and all the hype that sent investors scrambling to get a piece of the action. And believe me, this is where the story gets really interesting.
And the very first piece of the puzzle is a huge name, Zuko Wilcox. If you don't know, he's the founder of Zcash, a major privacy-focused crypto. Bringing him on board as a strategic advisor, well, that's not just some small hire. It's a massive signal to the market. It basically screams credibility and tells everyone that Cypherpunk is playing for real.
So it's super important we understand this core change. The company did what's called a crypto treasury pivot. So instead of, making a product or selling a service, their entire strategy is now just to buy and hold digital assets, betting that they'll be worth more in the future. Their balance sheet is their new business model.
And we're not talking about a small experiment here. The company pulled in nearly $59 million through a private placement, and get this, it was led by heavyweights like Winklevoss Capital. This isn't just hype from small-time investors. This is serious institutional money, which, adds a whole other level of legitimacy to what they're doing.
We can see exactly where that money went. The company is now sitting on over 233,000 Zk, which is the Zcash token. This isn't just some plan on a whiteboard. They've made a huge, concrete investment, basically tying their entire fate directly to how well this one specific digital asset does.
And to give you some perspective on that holding, their stake adds up to almost 1.5% of the entire Zcash network. So they are not just some passive investor on the sidelines, they are now a significant player in this whole ecosystem. But as you know, with big bets come pretty big risks.
Okay, so now we have to flip the coin and look at the other side. For every bull out there screaming buy, there's a bear growling about caution. So it's time we look past all the hype and really dig into the very real risks involved here.
And this really gets to the heart of the whole thing. See, on one side, you have a traditional company, right? They make stuff, they sell services, they have revenue that's kind of predictable. But on the other side, you've got Cypherpunk. Their value is almost completely tied to the price of a crypto asset that can swing wildly up and down. There's no recurring revenue stream, just the value of what they hold.
Let's break these risks down. First off, the fundamentals are totally speculative. If the price of Zk drops, so does Cypherpunk's value. End of story. Second, you have insane volatility and the risk of shareholder dilution from things called warrants. That could water down the value for everybody else. Third, what even is the business model here besides just holding Zk? It's completely unproven. And finally, they're at the mercy of the crypto market's mood swings and the looming threat of regulation, especially for privacy coins.
So what we have here is the absolute classic high-risk, high-reward scenario. The potential upside could be astronomical, but so is the downside. So what does this all mean for anyone watching this story unfold? What are the key things you should be looking for?
Here's your roadmap, your cheat sheet. 4 key things to keep on your radar. First, are they buying more ZEC? Second, what is Zuko actually going to do? Is his role going to lead to new products or partnerships? Third, you got to watch those SEC filings for any details on those warrants. And fourth, any news at all about privacy coin regulation could be a total game changer, for better or for worse.
If you only take one thing away from all this, let it be this. At its very core, an investment in Cypherpunk isn't like buying a traditional stock. For all intents and purposes, it's a leveraged bet on the future of Zcash and the whole big idea of privacy in crypto.
And that just leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? Is this a truly visionary pivot by a company that's seeing the future before the rest of us? Or is it just an incredibly high-stakes gamble, tying a public company's entire fate to one of the most volatile asset classes in the entire world? The market has placed its bet, and now we get to see how it all plays out.